Hello YouTube, LongLiveRome back with the first part of Mountain Blade Warband. This is version 1.158, and this game is long time one of my favorites. And we're going to be starting and playing. Look at my mouse. Go on the tip of that. I'm sorry, I get distracted easily. I forgot already. But, as I'm sure you could guess, we're going to start a new game. But first, I need to show you the options. The settings for default is reduced 1/4, reduced 1/2, nor average and average. The damage to player is how much damage you take when you're hit. Damage to friends is how much damage your soldiers take when they're hit, or your allies, armies. And combat AI is how good the AI is in battle. And the campaign AI is how good the AI is on the map. All of these I'll be raising to the hardest. So normal and normal, good and good, that's the hardest the game can be. So we will be playing this basically on the hardest difficulty possible for a vanilla game. And music, since this is original Mountain Blade, is free copyright. Sorry, I didn't know it was going to be that loud. I like it to be all the way up, just that way I only need to lower one thing. Anyway, so let's get started. Start a new game. Welcome, adventurer, to Mountain Blade Warband. Before beginning the game, you must create your character. Remember that in traditional medieval society depicted in this game, war and politics are usually dominated by male members of nobility. This music, man, I love it. That does not, however, mean that you should not choose to play a female character, or one who is not of noble birth. Male nobles may have a somewhat easier start, but women and commoners can attain all the same goals, and in fact, may have a much more interesting, if more challenging, early game. We will continue, and with that said, we will be playing as a female. You were born years ago in a land far away. Your father was, my father, is a printer. So he moves around a lot, so we'll go with a stepped nomad. You were a child of the steppe, born to a tribe and wandering nomads who lived in great camps through the arid grasslands. Like other tribesmen, your family revered horses above almost everything else, and they taught you how to ride almost before you learned how to walk. You start to learn about the world almost as soon as you could walk and talk. You spent your early life as a I like to help out. So I'll go with a craftsman apprentice. As a girl growing out of childhood, you apprenticed with a local craftsman to learn the trade. After years of hard work and study under your new master, he promoted you to journeyman and employed you as a fully paid craftsman for as long as you wished to stay. Then, as a young adult, life changed as it always does. You became a university student because I like to learn. Through the distinction fell sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had become a woman, and the whole world seemed to change around you. You found yourself as a student in the university of one of the great cities, where you studied theory, philosophy, and medicine. But not all of your lessons were learned in the lecture halls. You may or may not have joined in with your fellows as they roam the alleys in search of wine, women, and a good fight. I don't know why my character would want a woman. In my mind, she is straight. Either way, however, you certainly were able to observe how a broken jaw is set, and how an angry townsman can be persuaded to set down his club and accept cash compensation for the destruction of his shop. But soon everything changed, and you decided to strike out as your own as an adventurer. What made you take this decision was, I'm going to end this with getting married to one of the lords, so I guess I'll go with the loss of a loved one. Only you know exactly what it was that caused you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. All you can say is that you couldn't bear to stay, not with the memories of those you loved so close and painful. Excuse me. Perhaps your new life will let you forget or honor the name that you can no longer bear to speak. I shall become an adventurer and ride out to my destiny. What will the game's saving policy be? It shall be allow me to quit without saving, because sometimes files are lost. So tutorial. Now enter your name and distribute your attribute, skills, and weapon points. You can click on various elements of this screen to learn how each one will affect your character. So my character's name will be Aurelia, because Aurelian is my favorite name, but this is a woman, so Aurelia. And as always with the attributes, we shall make them even, despite whatever effect they have on her character. And since this is original Mountain Blade, that means I can put all my points in Pathfinding, which control my character's speed, in Surgery, which control how many soldiers die, in Trainer, which basically lets me train up my soldiers faster. We already have some in wound treatment, and we have 2 left. We don't need any shield because, again, this is original Mountain Blade. So that means we'll put the rest inside of Weapon Master and Power Strike. And we should put all of our points in one-handed because I love one-handed. Adjust your character's face using the buttons and the sliders. To rotate the head, click it and drag the mouse. So, click, drag. Woo! I shall come back when I find a face I'm satisfied with, which actually this face isn't half bad. But yeah, this is a pretty generic face for the women in this game, so I'm going to switch it up a bit. Here we go. I set up Aurelius. She kind of looks like me actually. The skin color is about the same, the hair is the same, the eyes, I don't know how to change the eye color. But yeah, nice and big, just like me. My mouth isn't that small. Where do we go to mouth? Mouth. Yeah, wherever it is, while the towers of Tolga, rising up from the plains. I'm exhausted by the time I find the inn at Tolga, and fall asleep quickly. However, I awoke before dawn, and eager to explore my surroundings. I ventured out to the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden, I hear a sound that stands the hairs of my neck on end. The rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. There you be. Hello. Ow. Hello, buddy. Woohoo! Really? Wow, just because I missed that first shot. Oh, I'm sorry, oh my gosh, I took the first struck and I bled out quickly, and when I woke up, I found myself here. This is the Merchant of Tolga, look at him. Looks angry. Ah, I'm awake. Wait, no, not third person, not first person anymore. Ah, you're awake. It's good to see that you can still walk. You're lucky that we came along. I have been speaking with Watch when we heard the sounds of a fight and ran to see what is happening. We didn't arrive in time to prevent you from getting knocked out, but we have saved you from getting your coat threat. Now, maybe you can help me. We've always had brigands in the hills, driven by banditry, by war, debt, or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild, and, I just have to say real quick, my sword was longer than I thought, so I didn't pull up my shield fast enough, and yeah, that's kind of what happened. Anyways, I'm venturing into town looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers. Fewer men keep an eye on the streets, but I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is that these bandits have an ally with inside the city, inside the walls, who helps them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking. A lad from a prominent house, out alone after dark in times like these? Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here and didn't know how bad things had become. He had no such excuse, but he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, these people start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with the blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly, or you wouldn't be coming to Calradia to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm saying you do. Gather a small party, track down the bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson they won't forget, and get my brother back here safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude. It's not worth very much, buddy, but you did save my skin back there. And a bit of silver. That's more like it. So what do you say? I am interested. You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try and take on a whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted. I'll warrant you'll first want to run out a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here looking for a bit of work. That's more interesting than tilling the soil or holding water. They'll follow you if you pay, so take this purse of 100 denarii. Consider it an advance on your reward. Go round to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I'll reckon that you need at least 5 men to take on these bandits. Very good. I'll collect some men from around the villages. Good. You can find me again in the tavern here in Tulga after you've got your group together. Then we'll speak about what to do next. You have taken your first quest. You may view your quest log by pressing Q at any time in the game. Okay, press Q. Here it is. Gather 5 men. You are now viewing the overland map. Left-click on the map to move your party to a location. Enter the selected town or pursue a selected party. Time will pause on the overland map and your party if your party is not moving, awaiting, or resting. To wait anywhere, simply press and hold down the spacebar, such as this. So, with that said, this is Calradia. Up in the north, the light blue are the Nords, my favorite. Specialize in infantry, no cavalry, limited archer, and range support. Here are the Swanians. They are a roundabout. They have good infantry, good cavalry, and good range soldiers, and they are the sort of reddish like. Here are the Rodaks, which are basically the equivalent of the Swadians, except they don't have cavalry, and their archers are just like the Swadian. They're crossbowmen, but they're more armored, how you say. Down here are the Serenids, which are the desert faction. They're yellow, as you can see. They specialize just like the Swadians. They're just about roundabout. They have good infantry, they have good cavalry, they have really good archers. Just archers. Their damage is limited. Here are the Khajiit. They specialize in cavalry and have limited infantry and range support. Here are, worst for last, the Vaegrs, which really they have cavalry with no shields, so archers can take them down, no problem. But they specialize in archery, so that's about it. They're white, which some people think it's hard to see their name because their name is white and they are in the snow areas. But frankly, because of the black outline, I don't think that's a problem at all. Anyways, we're down here inside Tulga. North is that way, up here. So we're in, I guess, the southeast, just like it said in the description. And to that, I'll let you be. See you all next time. Long live Rome, signing off.